Hello. Hello, everyone. How's it going? I made it. I made it tonight. Aren't you proud of me? Aren't you so very proud? You should be. It's a big achievement for me to actually stream at some point these days. Oh, man. Well, good to be here. Good to be here. I'm fresh off, or not so fresh off, another call, as per usual. But I still feel better than I usually do. So here I am, hanging out. Thank you all for joining me. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. I'm doing pretty good. I was super excited about this game launching last epoch, and it is amazing. In my opinion, totally lives up to the hype. I think some would tell you that the launch was a big bust because their servers have been crazy unstable, but I'm playing offline. I didn't plan on getting involved in any like trading or anything that would require, other interaction with other people. So I'm just playing offline. I don't give a shit about any of the server instability. I'm good. But yeah, as per usual these days, it's been a minute. I swear I'll get back to regular streaming one of these days. Oh man, the baby sleep transitions are just kicking me in the balls over and over, man. Just kicking me while I'm down. But yeah, the baby, the 1-year-old, is so they transition like gradually. They, meaning babies, need like fewer and fewer naps, and she's transitioning from 2 naps to 1 right at the moment, and so her sleep is all fucked up. And yeah, consequently so is mine. So same shit, different day, basically, as far as that's concerned. But yeah, it's going better, gradually going better. The 1 nap a day thing is really nice, because man, when you have to like schedule your day around 2 separate breaks, it's very constricting. It's really difficult to plan anything, and you can't really ever go anywhere for more than like an hour, just because I have to come back and like eat and then sleep, so you're just sort of stuck. But yeah, when they do 1 nap, it frees up so much ability to do other things. Just because you got so much more time, and they can stay awake for longer. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that being like a routine thing. I think we're probably about a week away from that, maybe 2 tops. Usually those sleep pattern changes kind of, if you stick with them, if you like make a plan and stick with it, like with the right amount of flexibility, obviously, like we've had a couple days where my daughter's like just absolutely fucking losing her mind at 9 a.m. and like we're not gonna push her till 11 because that's just miserable. And babies do this weird thing where they like get this massive second wind, and then they're just assholes and totally inconsolable, and they freak out, and like you can't get them to sleep, and then you're really screwed. So if you try to like push through that like barrier where they're like, I'm tired, then you just massively fuck yourself. So that's not something we're real interested in doing. But, for the most part, we're trying to do the 1 nap thing, because it is, again, so much better for us. And realistically, probably better for her, too. Oh, I should shatter that. But yeah, I am very much enjoying this patch. This has been a really fun game throughout the years, and, like, the improvements that they've made. As far as like user interface goes, and like polish of the game and the look, like the graphics are so much better. The game feels better. It is definitely release worthy in my opinion. Shatter that bitch. Well, that didn't really do much for me. Oh well. Yeah, I feel so for those of you who don't really know the story of this game, this is sort of born kind of in a similar fashion to Path of Exile, or Path of Exile. So Path of Exile was like, kind of came out of Diablo 2 not getting a sequel for so long, and there were Chris Wilson and, you know, the other sort of head honchos at Grinding Gear Games were like, you know what, we can make an action RPG really well. And so they did. And oh wow. Glad I'm not hardcore. Yeah, so they just like went for it. They were like, we know what elements, you know, go into these games, and we know how to make a good game, and so we're gonna do it. And now Path of Exile is like basically the gold standard for the whole genre. What the fuck is killing me so badly? Man, those things mean business. Well, I will meat grind my way through this area eventually. High crit chance? Oh man, okay. He must have just like landed some crits. But yeah, the last epoch came out of Diablo 3 being a dumpster fire. And from what I understand, wow. They not messing around. But yeah, from what I understand, it's basically like a bunch of people who just got together on Reddit and were like, hey, we can do this. And so they just like got together and made a game. And it's kind of like, I think it was absolutely terrible at first when they first made it. And you know, they took feedback and implemented it, and their business grew. And recently they put out like, so it launched yesterday. The game officially launched yesterday. And they put out a you know, an announcement, I guess like a news announcement, that they'd sold 1 million copies, which is pretty freaking good for a an early access game, I would say, like from an independent publisher. And god damn, dude. Wow, I don't think I've died this much like in the rest of the game. Yeah, so they sold 1 million copies, and they launched yesterday, and their servers, like, they do, like, regular, like, fireside chats where, like, the developers come by and, you know, tell you about what they're working on, and, you know, just kind of play the game that they're making. Like, they really, really enjoy their product, and they're just, like, normal, you know, nerdy dudes who like action RPGs, and they're messing around, very relatable people. But their servers just absolutely ate a fat dick on release yesterday, and I think they're still having some pretty substantial problems with like people transitioning zones and stuff, and I know nothing about networking, so I'm not sure like what could possibly be causing that or what their problem is, based on the limited information that they've provided. But yeah, suffice it to say, it has not gone very well for them as far as online play goes. And, you know, I know that they, it sounds like they prepared about as well as they could have for, you know, for this launch. And even like anticipated having so many people. Like their previous peak players was like 40,000. And last I checked, the peak was 150,000 on Twitch. Let me check that. We're gonna have to pause that. Okay. Back to Twitch. Last T-Pack. Actually, I don't know how to... I so infrequently browse... Oh, there's Perry the Pig. He's an awesome Last Epoch content creator, by the way. If you're actually looking for information about the game, this is the guy to watch. Super helpful. Well, yeah, so it's got 60,000 viewers right now. And previously, it's like a few hundred. But yeah, they're, oh, maybe I can Google that. Twitch users. Oh, no, that's not what I want. There are no channels currently live for Last Epoch. I do not think that's accurate. Yeah, anyway, they more than quadrupled their previous record high users, is the point I'm trying to get at here. And despite that, it sounded as though they had prepared for such an influx. Let's see. Yeah, so that is not accurate, because like I said, I personally saw it at 150,000. So, in any event, lots of people, and their online mode just absolutely crashed and burned. But like the team has been really conscientious about, you know, updating people, and as far as I can tell, moving through all the steps that you need to take to fix such a problem. So I feel for them. They're just like normal nerds who, you know, their massively popular game launch just like sucked. from that standpoint at least, but the game itself looks amazing. They really did a good job developing it and everything. It's just the online stuff burned them, but yeah, I think they're getting there though. And it doesn't, like, based on the like Twitch viewership, it doesn't seem like it really put that many people off. And I think a lot of the big streamers are playing offline because they sort of anticipated that there would be problems. Because Last Epoch has definitely had server issues in the past. Like, I think their last like major patch was virtually unplayable, I think, when they first launched it. And so a lot of people kind of saw that coming. Ooh. Yeah, so note to self, get some physical resistance. I am getting freaking eaten alive. Oh god. Yep. Damn. What is my physical resistance? Oh, 6. Well, that probably has something to do with it. Okay. Let's see if I can, perhaps fix that a touch. No, I do not want to shatter that. However, I do want to craft it. No fortune potential. Well, it's 12 more fizz than I had. Ranch! Ranch? Blue cheese. Thousand Island? French? Are we naming dressings? What things do you give to a patient that shows up to the ER unconscious? Usually nothing. But it kind of depends on why they're unconscious. It's like, if they're, like, found down or something, and, like, presumed to have, you know, some sort of, like, cardiac arrhythmia or whatever, like, that's an entirely different look than somebody who has a seizure, which is a different look than somebody who, like, overdosed. So those are all very different treatment plans. So yeah, you kind of got to know a little bit more about them than that to do something that isn't going to kill them. You know, obviously, if you lean into the wrong thing, then you know, you can do way more harm than good. Like if you thought maybe it was a seizure and you give somebody Versed, but they actually had overdosed. The Versed's midazolam, it's a benzo. But they'd actually overdosed, then, you know, you're sedating somebody who sedated themselves too much. So, you know, bad idea. They told us to use dextrose, Narcan, and thiamine. So I guess if you know nothing about the patient, that's a good way to start, because you're not gonna hurt them with any of those things. Like, if you know nothing at all, those are good things to do. So, dextrose would be if they are, like, in an insulin coma for whatever reason. Like, they gave themselves too much insulin, they have no blood glucose. Thiamine is if they're, like, they're, like, alcoholics. Because if you resuscitate alcoholics without giving them thiamine, you can precipitate something called Wernicke's encephalopathy, where basically they, try to use sugar that isn't in their body, basically. Like, they're metabolizing, but without glucose, and so they kind of, like, burn out their neurons. That's sort of how it works. And then, Narcan if they're OD'd. But if somebody hasn't had any, narcotics, then Narcan's just not gonna do anything, right? Doesn't reverse anything. So all of those things are fairly, like, low side effect options. But that makes sense. Like, if those things won't help, they just do nothing, if that makes sense. So, I get it. I get that. Makes sense. Are you in the ER? Are you rotating through the ED? That's a pretty intense place to start your rotations, if so. There's a lot coming at you. You got a lot of know a lot of stuff to do well in the emergency room. Which is one of the reasons that it's a really cool place to be. But it's pretty intimidating to have that as your first clinical medicine exposure. You're learning neuro? Oh, okay. Interesting. Neuro, I found neuro fascinating. Like, neuroanatomy I thought was really, really difficult. But, like, neurology in general I think is really cool. I mean, neuroanatomy is cool too, it's just very confusing to me. Like, I know enough of it, which is, you know, an odd thing for an anesthesiologist to say, because I basically manipulate neuroanatomy all day, every day. But I don't have to know it anywhere on the level that, you know, an anatomist does. I just sort of know, like, what the drugs I do, and how, you know, how to modulate those effects, and that's plenty. I don't have to know, like, in detail all the tracts and stuff to do my job well. Sort of a superficial knowledge, I guess you could say. There's a nurse shortage. Do I think I could do the job with a nurse effectively or better? Well, again, it's sort of a hedge answer. It depends on the kind of nurse, right? So there are a lot of, like, an ICU nurse, for instance. That's, like, my jam, right? I could totally do that, no problem. Because, like, what ICU nurses have over most nurses is they do lots of procedures, they do lots of, like, you know, high-level critical care, they have really unstable patients, and that sort of thing. And basically, like, I do all of that every day. But if you're, like, a clinic nurse where you're, you know, calling insurance companies and refilling prescriptions and doing a lot of, like, I mean, I guess I would call it, like, high-level clerical work, kind of. I mean, I don't want to, you know, like, belittle the task that they're doing, because all of that stuff is super important to making, like, healthcare go around. But, like, that is not something that I'm accustomed to, so that would be much harder for me to do. Jesus, dude, these guys launching these bleed explosions are just freaking raping me. It is unbelievable. But I mean, there is a nurse shortage, so it's not the best situation for anyone, really. It's just very difficult to hire and retain people because so many places are desperate for nurses that they're just kind of willing to pay whatever it takes to get a nurse on board. And there are, like, nursing, like, temp organizations and stuff that just, you know, hire out travel nurses everywhere, and they are just making money hand over fist. It is insane. I mean, hopefully it drives nurse salaries higher, like for over the long term, because they're laughably low in my opinion for what nurses do. And the bullshit they put up with. Nursing is a really tough job. Why doesn't the same thing apply to primary care docs? The what same thing? What do you mean? Like, why can they not also have a massive salary increase? Them getting paid hand over fist. They don't do things that bring in money. Honestly, that's why they don't do procedures, and procedures are what reimburse effectively. But that said, pay for basically everyone in healthcare has skyrocketed since COVID because everybody retired. Everybody who was within striking distance of retirement just bounced. So yeah, they are making much more money than they were and are in higher demand. But you know, if you, it's to a large extent a percentile increase, or a percentage increase, I should say. So, you know, your undercompensated position plus 30% is still undercompensated. Like primary care, speaking of people who don't make enough money to do what they do, primary care is definitely in that category, in my opinion. Like, a good primary care physician saves the system so much money and takes better care of people, which is, you know, really what you're after, obviously. But, you know, if you're thinking about it from a corporate standpoint, like, or an insurance standpoint even, somebody like a primary care doc who can, you know, convince somebody to take their diabetes meds regularly and, like, exercise all the time is way more valuable than somebody who can go in and cut that diabetic's leg off when they don't manage their diabetes properly. Like, if you can prevent all those comorbidities, why can I not speak? If you can prevent all those comorbidities, you're, like, really, really unburdening the system. You know, if you're like the magic man who can convince all the 400-pound people who come to see you to, like, lose 300 pounds on their own, then, I mean, that's amazing. That's such a huge, good thing for everyone involved. Ooh, what is this? Stargazer's collection, huh? That's pretty cool. Ooh, singularity. Awesome. Yeah, my primary care docs are, they might have their day soon. I think that direct primary care is a really big change in the works that's gonna make them earn a ton more money. Because they're just gonna do away with insurance companies altogether and provide people care on a subscription-based service, so they'll be able to see, you know, more people who are paying cash and not have to fuck with insurance companies, and will make tons more money as a result. Ophtho or derm? I honestly don't know the answer to that. Both are extremely competitive. I would guess that actually ophthalmology is harder, but I don't know that for a fact. And I say that sort of independent of scores, because you really don't learn a whole lot about eyes in med school, so it's very important that you put in a whole bunch of extra work to get that knowledge and show that you're actually interested, like, before going to match. So there's a lot more, like, front-loaded work that goes into it. So I mean, even if, you know, derm, say, needed a higher step score or something, Like, I think that ophthalmology is more difficult just by virtue of it being so much different than what you've already learned. What was I going for? Oh, yeah, let's do this. And necrotic damage for intelligence. Lovely. What am I going for over here? This buff does not stack. I don't know that I really want that. Base crit. Yeah, we'll do that. Here, we can always look at the charting outcomes. If you want to know scores. Does this year have one? Well, they haven't done match yet, right? Oh, that's last year. 2023's last year. What the fuck? Okay. Okay. God damn it. Oh, but wait. Ophtho isn't the main residency. Interesting. I wonder if that's published. Does anybody have that? Let's see. Alright, so this is 2022. Alright, so those are pretty high scores, right? So 247 is the mean step 1 score, or median step 1 score, and median, I guess, or and mean. I do not know what it was for dermatology. Where is it this? Is it there? That's 247 is what percentile? I'd probably like 80 something. That's pretty high. Let's see, dermatology. Oh yeah, but these are advanced positions. So dermatology is here, yeah. But that's not gonna. This doesn't tell me any of what I want to know, does it? Yeah, I need the charting outcomes, right? And the last one, I guess, was 2022. Yeah. That makes me want to vomit. It should. It sucks. It sucks how difficult it is to do the specialty that you want to do. It really sucks balls. I feel bad for you guys. I mean, it would just be so hard to convince me to go into med school knowing that you have like a 20% chance of not really being able to... I mean, it just generally speaking, like, if you want to do anything other than primary care, you've got like a 20-ish% chance of just straight up not being able to do that. So mean it's 248. So basically they're like the same. Like score-wise, they're pretty much the same competitiveness. So I'm going to stick with my answer of ophthalmology, and I would have stuck with that even if it was higher. Because I just think the amount of effort that you have to do to demonstrate that you're actually interested in ophtho is much higher. And much more difficult, too. Yeah, like, especially with anesthesiology, I mean... What, last year it was like an 80-something% match overall? Here, well, I've got the data pulled up, you might as well look at it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's such a daunting prospect to just to do what you want. Let's see. Does this tell you what you, like, what percentage matched? I think that might have been in the other one. So USMD seniors did pretty well, right? There's not a whole lot of unmatched people. 247 to 76th, 84th. Yeah, that's kind of obviously what I figured. Man. That is, that just sucks. It sucks to have such a small chance of, like, getting through all of the hurdles and then being like, hey, I really want to do this specialty. Oh, but you can't. You're doing primary care. And it sounds like it's basically anything other than primary care is just like rapidly devolving into this, you know, ridiculous competition for everything. Except emergency medicine. Like, emergency's just fucked. It's private equity has just destroyed that specialty. But yeah, so you gotta score 80th percentile just to kind of be in the mix, right? That's the median score for opto matches. That's crazy. Yeah, shards. I need those early on, man. Too much clutter. Oh, 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 shit. There we go. Would you guys die, please? Yeah, I'm very thankful to be where I am right at the moment. That is for sure. I would not want to be applying to anything in this medical education climate. Shoot for first quartile. Well, way to keep your sights high. I applaud you. You know what, guys? I am gonna go for the absolute bare minimum. And if I do better than that, I win. Yeah, I would imagine you're gonna do just fine. But there are worse ways to go than doing a bunch of rural medicine. Because that's actually where you make the money and get all the incentives and stuff. Like, they'll pay for your school, and nobody else wants to go there, so you'll have your pick of the litter, basically. Set your expectations low and you'll never be disappointed. I mean, there is a certain wisdom to that, right? That is a beautiful strategy in some ways. Now that we have proven that emomancy? Emomancy? Blood magic? Cool. Alright, let's roll.
This is the artificial waypoint. Can't say I'll enjoy using it. What we can do is wreck this place before we leave and let Zarek clean the mess.
Yeah, we just killed Zarek, so, yeah.
Go to the center of the device again. And that should do it.
I love the new cutscenes.
This waypoint's
These didn't
harder
used to
than I
be here.
anticipated. But no worries. All good now.
Uh-oh, there's a bunch of crazy shit coming. Do I believe in the moon landing? Is that something you believe in?
Anyway, off you go. I'll see you on the other
Yes,
side.
I believe that we landed on the moon as described. Have you ever seen what's the show? Shit, what is it called? There's a series where it's like a, you know, fictional thing where the Russians win the space race. What is that called? Okay, that's not what I was looking for. For All Mankind. That is a really good show. It's very interesting. I find it less interesting as the seasons go on, because they kind of, the timeline diverges from actual history, and I think the, like, play on actual history is really cool. Yeah, so, like, the first season is the best, in my opinion, for that reason, because it's the closest to, like, you know, they're not inventing their own story quite as much.
You're trying to reach the citadel. Over there. Follow it to the map. Go. Find. I want to say. I'll try to distract. Hopefully, I will see you soon.
Hey, Matt, what's going on, dude? How are you? Welcome to the show. Yeah, we were discussing For All Mankind, which is, if you've never seen or heard of it, is a series about what would have happened if the Soviets won the space race. And like I was saying, it kind of gets a little more far-fetched as the seasons go on, but the first season is, like, really, really good. Alive? Back in the hospital for the first time? Wait, where were you before if you were not in the hospital? I thought you were doing your clinicals. How was call? Decent. Did a C-section overnight, but can't complain too much. Yeah, and it was with one of the OBs who's, like, she's very fast and, you know, kind of makes the nurses get the lead out a little bit. And fortunately, the patient's nurse was really good, too, so, we got underway pretty quickly. But sometimes those things can drag on. Like, if the, you know, OB is, dragging ass, and the nurse is dragging ass, you can end up wasting a solid hour and a half pretty easily. If I wanted to perform a C-section, could I? Yes, I could. Would I do a good job? Absolutely fucking not. Like, if I had to do it in an emergency situation for some crazy-ass reason, I cannot think of a situation where that would be the case, but yeah, I could probably get a baby out safely. My closure would be atrocious. And I, like, honestly, I would probably just, like, wait there until an obstetrician could come in and do it the right way. But I could probably get the baby out. Took a month break, winter break, then did an online async class. Oh, okay. Well, that's the way to do it, man. I did that with my 4th year. It was beautiful. I set myself up so that I was done at the end of January. Because I had a couple, I had a couple asynchronous classes too, like where we'd meet like once a week or something for 2 hours, and it counted as a whole month credit because it like met for the whole year. This is a beautiful thing. Your preceptor is doing a C-section at 2 a.m. He yelled at her because she was trying to teach a student. Dude, that shit happens all the time. It's so bad. Oh my god, it's so bad. As I got more confident and went further through residency, my patience for that sort of behavior dwindled pretty quickly. Like when they were letting the intern close at, you know, 2 a.m., like you said, it's like, you know, This lady's spinal's gonna wear off. Why don't you close that incision, please? We can get the fuck out of here and go back to sleep. Your intern's gonna take an hour to close. Yeah, it baffles me that, like, some people don't consider that. Your dad's 63. Shut up, it's not the time for teaching. Yeah, exactly.
That is too much. Worthless anyway.
Yeah, that is just, like, massively inconsiderate to everybody involved, in my opinion. And it's also kind of shitty patient care, really, if we're being honest. Like, 'cause that student's not exactly on the ball either, right? 'Cause students, generally speaking, aren't quite as, like, used to those sorts of hours and demands. So they're probably dragging ass to begin with. And then, you know, you put them in a position that they're unused to and they're, like, fumbling through. That is just not a good idea. Before you're on clerkship, but he told you about it when you were rotating? Yeah. Yeah, OB is sort of notorious for that sort of shit. I don't think that happens with surgery very much. Because they at least recognize that it's time to get out of the operating room. And after a certain point, nobody wants to be there. Spell damage, cast speed. That's pretty good. What is my other thing? Oh, yeah. I should probably put that on. Let's see. Yeah, I'll pass. She's also insane. She falls asleep in the middle of her sentences? What? Yeah, that seems like a very terrible, dangerous idea. I would not approve of that person taking care of me. I mean, as it turns out, sleep is pretty important for high-level executive function, whether you think it is or not.
That is too much. Impossible. That is
But yeah, I always was very alarmed with how readily the OBs would let their, like, junior members do stuff. Like, I kind of understand letting the interns do it a little more. You know, when it's like a late night C-section that they're closing, but like, damn dude, there's plenty of C-sections during the day that they can practice this shit on. Can you please finish this up so we can get the fuck out? Oh, that's a big radius. Scheduled you for a 24-hour call your first day? It didn't tell you? What the fuck? That doesn't sound like a good idea. And then 24-hour call after your step exam too? Or shelf exam? Yeah. Well, that's, that sounds like a person who does not need to hold the position that they do. Quite frankly. What is this Fibonacci sequence? 8, 13, 21, 34. Huh. I've never noticed that. I've found this item countless times. And it's... Huh. Okay. I've never noticed that that's the Fibonacci sequence. The numbers and the mods. Weird. Started a riot. They lost students. They're not allowed to do first call anymore. I would imagine not, because that's crazy stupid. You just show up and have no idea what you're doing and be like, oh, well, you're on call. I mean, honestly, the concept of putting a student on 24-hour call to begin with is pretty ridiculous. Like, you can't do anything. I know the idea is to function as though you're a member of the team, but bro, you're not. You're not a member of the team. You can't do shit. Like, there are rare instances where, like, a service is so busy that they just kind of have to use the med students' work to get by. Like, the residents are just getting plowed under, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, I'll copy and paste your note. But, I mean, you're not there to actually do anything. It's the only site that enforces it? Yeah, I mean, so those things, they just kind of run however they want to, really. At least in my experience. They just kind of do their thing, and you know, they'll take whatever slap on the wrist comes their way. It's just like, oh, I didn't know we couldn't do that. We can't put students on call on the first night for 24 hours? Oh, that's so weird. We can't use students' notes and bill for them? Oh, I had no idea. Hate that shit so much. Oh man, what a screw job. So I think the like I remind myself of this every now and then, but like there's a I can't remember the Comet program, maybe? Stanford has a program, and this is just preying on pre-meds like being ridiculous people in general. They have a program where you basically pay them, like you pay them tuition to be a scribe, basically. And they're like, you get experience, and it'll pad your medical education, or your med school application, and it's gonna be great. And then there's like a bunch of fine print where they're like, does not guarantee admission to application, does not guarantee an interview, you're actually wasting your time and your money really hardcore by doing this. But come to our program. Just like the concept, they're trying to just sell you on the notion that they're like doing you a favor. Like, you should be paying them for having a job. And I mean, that's kind of what you're doing as a student if they just whore you out on call overnight immediately. Like, at best, they're just straight up wasting your time, because most of the stuff that happens overnight, they're not gonna, like, have a med student go take care of, because that's, like, probably an emergency, and you can't handle that. I mean, I remember one of, like, you're kind of functionally worthless when it comes to really high-level stuff for a while. Like, I remember, one of the guys who was a first year, he was a CA1. So first year anesthesia. So he's actually second year resident, but it was kind of the beginning of his CA1 year. And we had this emergency heart who was like sick as shit circling the drain. And, you know, we're getting ready for this emergency heart surgery. And we're like, so, hey man, what's the deal? I don't want to use his name because this is pretty embarrassing. And he practices locally right now, but you know, I was like, what's the deal? And like, I'm setting up stuff while the like heart call person gets in there, you know, because we're like going, like this guy's in florid heart failure and just crumping hard. And she's like, oh yeah, well he's stable, you know, he's doing okay. I'm like, well, okay, cool. Like, you went and saw him and evaluated him. I guess you know, you are a doctor, so I'll take your word for it. And this dude comes up to us on multiple pressors. He has, they had put an aortic balloon pump in the cath lab because they tried to like stent him and couldn't, and he was like having a heart attack, and it was just a total shit show. But anyway, like, so he's got a balloon pump in. He's on multiple pressors. He's on, like, dobutamine to, like, you know, make his heart beat better. And they had said he had an ejection fraction of 10%, but for anybody who doesn't know how bad that is, normal ejection fraction is like 60%. And you can basically just like up and die at any point with an EF of 10. So this guy is like at death's door, and he rolls in the heart OR with this information on board. I'm like, that's not exactly what I was told, so let's change gears just a touch here and accommodate the fact that this guy might just die, like, right now. Disaster incoming, yes. Disaster incoming, absolutely. Oh, I need to get rid of my shit here. But yeah, and this is a second year resident, right? So not even a student. This is somebody who has like 3 years on a third year student, 3 years of experience. So yeah, to expect that a student will be useful in a situation like that is laughable, to say the least. Or to try to, like, act as though that's the case. He had a heart failure exacerbation with EF of 10, but the patient was fine. Well, he's fine till he's not, right? That VTAC will get him eventually. That's the problem with those people, is they're, like, inherently unstable. Let's see, what's this one? 2 decks. LE damage. Block chance. So that does, like, fucking nothing for me, basically. I could use the resist, I think. It's a fair bit of damage for me. See if I can make something useful out of this. No. Put that there. Wow, I don't have any glyphs of hope, huh? You world question an hour ago. OB asked a student to deliver placenta, and the student said they didn't feel comfortable doing it. The patient hemorrhaged. Awesome. That's so bad. Yeah, as a student, saying that you're not comfortable doing something is probably not a great idea. It's like, here's news, you're probably gonna be uncomfortable doing most things. And by most things, I mean just about everything. Let's see. Give me some decks, baby. The stash, it grows, it grows. Crit chance. Well, we can make a case for that. Why don't we use that? My goodness. That is quite the increase in damage. Oh, I can't use it yet? Level 52? Oh, shit. What? How did I get a level 52 required item? I'm level 39. That sucks. You told your job at the psych hospital that you weren't comfortable wiping old people's ass, and they made you do it anyway. Well, that's a job. That's a little bit different. Yeah, if you sign up for a job and you're like, that's sort of part of the description. They're like, guess what? You're doing it. You're gonna do it. Or you don't have a job. Let's have fun. Have the student do the thoracentesis and end up with a pneumo, that's their fault. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But those... So that's the tough part about medical education is, like, you kind of have to get your hands dirty to, like, become competent at your job. I mean, I will use myself as a prime example of that. Like, I remember my first epidural, it took like 45 minutes. I mean, it had to have been excruciating for everybody involved. But now, I put an epidural in 5 minutes or less. Like, I'm super fast at it. But you don't get there unless you start somewhere, you know? And, like, yeah, maybe you're gonna drop a lung doing a thoracentesis or, you know, central line or something, or, like, cannulate somebody's artery instead of their vein. Like, you're gonna fuck stuff up. That's just part of the, part of learning, unfortunately. And as they say, there's kind of a saying in medicine that, like, if you haven't had, like, X complication, you haven't done enough of Y procedure. And it's definitely true. Do I think a meth user could find an IV before me? Or find a vein on themselves? So, actually, a lot of the time, drug users are very helpful in informing you where to stick them. Like, for real. Like, if you look at somebody and they've got track marks everywhere, you can just straight up ask them and be like, hey, you know, where are your functional veins? It sounds fucked up, but it's true. Because they'll know. They'll know where their decent veins are. That's one of those, like, experience hacks. Oh, it has no forging potential. Got it. Why am I taking so long to sell all this crap off? Frailty on hit, yeah. Yeah. I do not want to do that. But I will upgrade that affix. And what did I need more of? Yeah, I probably ought to get more physical resistance wherever I can. Let's put some phys res on here. If I can. There, I can. Better than nothing. Let's go. So that can go in here. And I'll just sell that. What if you ask someone what where their functional veins are if they're not a drug user? You can do that too. I mean, there's lots of people who are, like, you know, obese or something and don't have obvious veins. And they'll be able to tell you, like, well, usually they stick me here. And, you know, maybe that's useful information, maybe it's not, but it's probably better than nothing. At least you have some sort of input. So if you can't find a vein in people, Acer has an eBay page where they sell refurbished stuff. Oh, did not know that. That's cool. I may have to take advantage of that. Oh, it's you get a manufacturer's warranty with it too. That's pretty cool. Yeah, these days I'm much happier with refurbished stuff than I used to be. Some of it I kind of question, like some things that are very easily abusable and like ruinable, like graphics cards, even if they are manufacturer refurbished. Like, damn man, maybe that GPU's probably got some fair miles on it. But like, if we're talking like a computer case, or, you know, even a monitor, really, like you can't really abuse a monitor that much. Most refurbs are returned. Yeah, I think that's true. I think in this age of what I was thinking but wasn't saying is like, you know, now that people can kind of like order shit and just return it at will, you know, you don't have to like think about it or like make a trip to the store and then make a return trip to the store. You can just like get it in the mail and you're like, nah, fuck this, I actually don't want this, and just return it. There are so many more returns, I'm sure. And I'm, as a person who is not very careful with packaging, I'm sure they ruin the packaging and therefore that item instantly becomes a refurb. Second display's a refurb? Yeah, I think I'll probably do that from now on. Unless there's just like something that I absolutely can't get on the secondary market or get a refurb model of. Then I'll probably do that. That's not really my style, though. I don't tend to buy cutting edge anything because it's just so much more expensive for, you know, functionally not that great of a return. Hey, what's up, Ulrich? Your dashing good looks. Ah, my nose will not stop itching. What the fuck?
I'll use my portals to there should be some aqueducts up
Stay
ahead.
safe, Ulrich.
Let's meet there.
Upgrade your PC because you're using an 8-year-old processor. Jesus Christ, dude. Wow, 3070 and all that shit for $850? Oh my god. That's pretty awesome. I might do that, because, so I want a PC for my, like, you know, this mythical streaming experience of game nights that I'll have at some point that I thought I would probably be doing by now, but I'm not. Haven't used my game table at all. But yeah, I would like to have a PC for that so I can actually stream those games, because I think that'd be fun to watch, like, you know, having the background people playing some board game or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I really don't want to spend like $2,000 on a PC that I'll use like at the absolute most once a week, probably more like once every 3 weeks, because that just seems like an asinine use of money. But yeah, I mean, if I could get something suitable for under $1,000, that'd be fantastic. Here, let's look at this. Acer, did you have to search for anything hard to get to? I'll send you me a link. Hell yeah. Love these hookups. Yeah, that was a fantastic hot tip, by the way. I'm all about it. And Acer's a good one, too, because that's kind of like a quality brand. I wonder if, do like the PC manufacturers, like, I don't know, say iBuyPower, do they have refurbs? I know it's a little different because they're not, like, manufacturers, but... How did you DM it to me? The prices aren't worth it, like here, you mean? Like the builders' prices aren't worth it? None of these seem very impressive, honestly, at a glance. 3070 for 1500 is not too bad, TI. Where did you send the link? I'm not a smart man. You have to he'll hold my hand. Oh, you DM'd it. Okay, cool. Boop. Did you? Oh, and Twitch. Ha. Like I said, not a smart man. Oh, it was on Discord. Well, what the fuck? Why is it not showing up? Oh, there it is. Just took a second. Oh, I guess I'll be your friend. Boop. Hi. There we go. Let's see. So yours was $850. Let's see what we got here for 1,000. Save $1,600? What the fuck? Okay. Alright, so blow this up a little bit so y'all can see. So 16 gigs of RAM, 3080. What was that accent? I don't know. Well, I mean, that maximum power supply is 800. Doesn't really tell you much about the components, really, but what you got was better than what you paid for? Yeah, well, I mean, certainly if this is list price $2,700 and it's 11, that's not bad. This one, this is $850, list price is $2,000. View all details. Number of USB ports, 8. Oh my god. 3070, okay. I mean, this definitely seems like the way to go. For me, at least, because I don't need something that's just gonna like crush brand new programs, you know, run everything at like 90 billion times anti-aliasing, ultra high settings. Just something that'll be able to stream reliably. That's really all I care about. This is the one that you got? Well, my friend, it looks like they've jacked the price up by $100 since you bought it, so good on you. Wow, this is awesome. I'll have to hang on to that. Extra 9% off. 9%. All of these are extra 9% off for some reason. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, I wonder why some of those are so much cheaper Like the ones up here. Like why is this $1,100 instead of $2,700? Yeah, I mean, I have no idea anything about this computer, basically, though, right? It has 16 gigs of RAM, which is whatever. Yeah, 3080's pretty solid, considering 3080s alone were going for way more than that, like, a year ago. Huh. Custom configs that were returned. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm a sort of component Nazi, so I would like to know like what motherboard and what power supply they have. But that's one of those things that I feel like this is maybe cheap enough that if it's not something that's like at least medium quality, you can just replace it and sell the part. Their Garbo, it's proprietary. Yeah, then I would totally fucking yank that shit out of there. I mean, because you can buy a pretty damn good power supply for like 120 bucks. You could probably sell this trash one for like 20 and at least recoup some of your loss. Acer Mobo and shitty power supply, but yeah. Yeah, the motherboard would maybe make me not super enthused, but still, I mean, the price is right. For sure. Well, that is an extremely hot tip, as you say. Thank you for that. Do you know if there's any other manufacturers that have similar things? Like if Asus has one, or like Gigabyte? Or like Corsair? Holy shit, if Corsair had one, that'd be badass. Like some manufacturer that makes like really good parts overall. Yeah, I mean it definitely sounds worth it for sure. Just curious if I can get a lasting solution that's not gonna... I mean, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it would, you know, last me several years at least. And it'd do what I wanted it to do. It's not like I'm gonna be, you know, like I said, crushing out top-end programs at top-end settings. Yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind for sure. I was sort of that was a big hitch in my plans, basically. The fact that that computer is going to cost so much fucking money. I'm like, I really can't justify this cost at all. But I mean, I'm streaming right now on a computer that's way worse than that. And I don't feel like I've had any issues at all. Hard to navigate, find the Acer store by accident? Interesting. Ah.
It eludes me.
It eludes me. A Zotac store? Huh. Do they sell PCs? I thought they were all, like, aftermarket, like, cooling solutions and stuff. Open box graphics cards, okay. Yeah, I mean that's gotta be the go, I guess. The gears are turning. The gears are turning. What was that? Was that graphics fuck up? Yeah, I guess so. I always kind of forget that those sorts of like half measures kind of exist. Because I think if, like, honestly, if I were making a PC for, like, my all-day, everyday use, I'd still buy new. Because I would want to get like, part of the fun for me is getting exactly what I want and just, like, over-engineering and over-researching the living shit out of everything. So if I did that, I would probably just buy new, even if I could find what I wanted at refurb rates. Just so I have it as long as possible. But for this particular project, where I really just want something that works and, you know, doesn't have to work all day, that would be great. 'Cause it'll be off. You know, most of the time it'll be off. I'm gonna start it up every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And that's it. It's worth it just to pull the components out of. Interesting, for like resale? Huh. That's a thought. That's not something I have time for, or that is worth my time. But but that would be an interesting angle for sure. I wonder what I used 3080 cells for. Just to your point. Yeah, so it looks like that's $400 by itself, even a used one. To use the parts in a different build. Oh! Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Yeah, to use that as like a base for the parts.
It eludes me.
I can see that. See, that's outside the box thinking right there. I like it. I like it. I mean, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Like, if you were to get that computer, get a nice case. I mean, the case looks like it's okay, the one that they had, so maybe you don't even need that, really. But just, like, swap out the motherboard and the power supply, and you're, like, pretty well set. Upgrade to a 4070. Dude, I would love to get a 4000 series graphics card. They sound so awesome.
Has come.
But again, that's just an expense that is not necessary for me right now. As much as I would love it to be. Oh god, I love new PCs, and I love building them too. I have a lot of fun tinkering with it and trying to put as many fans as possible in and shit like that. I keep telling myself, oh wow, that happened fast. Keep telling myself one of these days I'll make my own like custom liquid loop, but I think realistically that'll never happen. That's just way too much effort for me. 550 new? Yeah, that's not too bad. That seems like they're coming back down to earth a little bit on the pricing of those cards. So I think the 70 model has historically sort of been like the high end of like normal gamer range, right? So like after that you kind of like the 70 Ti and then like 80 plus is like enthusiast level basically. But I feel like just the plain 70 is, you know, kind of like where you sort of separate the people who just like want a good PC from the fanatics. And as such, they've been priced accordingly, like, you know, 350, 400, something like that. Like, I'm running a 2070 Super in mine, in the computer I'm using right now, and it's been amazing. I've had 0 complaints, no problems with it whatsoever.
Impossible.
Save Ulrich from the fallen Osprix. Fuck you, fallen Osprix.
It eludes me.
Yeah, the 4000 series is like just a massive evolution, and the 3000 series was a massive evolution over the 2000 too. So I'm very interested in making that leap whenever possible. But as it turns out, children are very expensive. They also don't leave a whole lot of time for computer gaming. So my motivation to make that happen is at like an all-time low. GPU is bottlenecking your system. Oh, the 1080 is equivalent to 4060? Really? That's nuts. I would not have expected that. Oh, CPU, yeah, okay. Here we go. I love this site. Get the fuck out of here, ad. There you go, 4070 Super. Wow, punching above the weight. How about that shit? Damn. So you could get 25% more performance for 3 times the price. What a deal. Very impressive. Yeah, the 4070 looks like the that looks like the go there, man. Fucked up 80 series cards? Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? Binning. Gotta love binning. I mean, that's kind of how they all are, though, right? Like, they pick the top performing cards are, you know, the 4090s. The ones that have, like, the most successful wafers get to be the fancy cards. They just, like, disable the ones that are messed up, right? And they're like, yeah, it actually only has this many channels. $3080 Ti. $3080's still up there pretty good though, huh? $4080s that don't pass QC, collect and sell the 70 supers. I mean, why not? Why not? Gotta do something with them. That's pretty impressive though. Look at that performance. At 589. Let's see what the cost per I think this is best value video card. There you go. So 4060, wow. Way up there. Yeah. That is not surprising that that's so high up the cost per performance. People literally had 2070 Supers that showed up as 2080s on their system, really? That's really cool. Nvidia's just like, Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. We tried. I'll have to keep this in mind, though. The 4070 Super thing, and also this store. Jesus Christ. What a freaking deal. Yeah, see, I don't really want to pay that much, but it's nice that, like, the other problem I was thinking of is, like, I don't really want to pay this out of pocket immediately. So I mean, this is probably within striking distance, but if I was going to make, like, a $2,000 PC or something, I didn't want to pay it all immediately, but, like, to put all of the components for a PC on a payment plan just sounds like a massive pain in the ass, and that I don't want to deal with, so I wouldn't do that. I'd probably have to acquire them over time or something like that, which also is sort of a pain in the ass. But yeah, if you just get it as, like, one refurbished system, then no big deal, right? Put that on a payment plan, life's good. People are soldering VRAM onto their 3070s? Oh, dude, I can't get behind all that shit. Like, modding individual computer parts just seems... That's... I mean, first off, like, way beyond my level of expertise. It's also way beyond my level of risk tolerance. Like, I was kind of, like, getting deep into, like, just cooling solutions, basically. Like, reasonable cooling solutions, you know? Like, I would never do, like, liquid nitrogen or any crazy nonsense like that. But, like, I kind of fell in this rabbit hole where people were, like, delitting their processors and, like, resurfacing the, like, the heatsink and stuff. I'm like, man, you people are fucking crazy. Because they were finding out that the stock heatsink that's applied directly over the chip is sometimes slightly uneven. And so they would put it through, like, their own milling process and, like, polish, like, basically, like, regrade the heatsink and, repolish it and everything. And I'm like, dude, that is so much fucking work. Like, why do that? And you are at an extremely high risk of bricking your processor. They basically said NVIDIA intentionally underspec the 3070s because the 3060s are sold at 12. Interesting. That's the whole, like, 3000 series release was very, sort of like a black time in PC enthusiast history, in my recollection. That was, like, the peak of, bot sniping, and also kind of around the time when COVID hit, and just, like, absolutely made prices go batshit crazy with cryptocurrency taking off. That was not a good experience for anybody in that hobby. So yeah, I could see how something like that would kind of take a back seat to all of the other craziness going on. Like, that wouldn't quite get the attention that it would have otherwise if, you know, those things had sold at MSRP and more people had access to them, blah, blah, blah. Wow, this is really creepy. I thought for sure those were enemies. Maybe they will be soon. Cool. This is definitely touched up from what it was. Wow, I like it.
I am Yulia.
Why did you call on me?
In regards to the Citadel, from there, you will find an entrance to the sewers.
A phone
That
ring?
is the only way through, and it's also patrolled. I've disposed of some soldiers there, The heart of the citadel is beyond. There is an exit near the Emperor's throne.
What's up, Ulrich?
We have a chance to rest. Seriously. Before you set my ring, I'm too hurt to go after him. When he fled, I saw him heading deeper into the mountains. When you find time, you could.
That wasn't there where you're shopping. It's 150 for 2 terabytes of storage and a 3080 upgrade. Right? This one? Right here? This is pretty sweet, man. This seems like a pretty good deal. I want to know more about the case, though. The case is one thing that I kind of, like, nerd out about. Like, the case, the fans, all that sort of shit is very important to me. For probably not, you know, sort of, the importance in my mind is way out of proportion to how important it actually is. It's a mid-tower and small? Okay. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like. It looks very compact. And, like, it might not have the best ventilation in the world, perhaps. Oh, here's the back. Yeah, so real standard, like, you know, 220mm fans on the front and 1 on the back. So it's pretty bare bones in that regard, sounds like. Nice size, very mobile. Yeah, I mean, mobility's not a concern for me, really. Carrying handle's kind of cool, though. Yeah, that's actually kind of nice. So, that is an interesting choice. The, like, screen for the sides of the fans. I kind of like that. That's pretty cool, because, you know, so fans aren't, like, unidirectional, right? They don't just push air directly in front of them. They also, like, throw it out to the side. So the fact that that allows some extra cooling by virtue of kind of letting those exhaust fans just go in all directions is kind of cool. I would imagine that improves cooling efficiency, though it does sort of take away from the wind tunnel effect, but... Tempered glass side? Oh, instead of the... Huh. That's cool. Tempered glass is pretty bad for small cases, though, because it retains heat so much. Temps aren't great on your system, but you upgrade the cooler. Because you use a stock one. Yeah, that would not fly for me. I would definitely install an aftermarket cooler for mine. I wonder if this is, like, easily moddable to where you could have a top vent. Because it doesn't look like that's open. Huh. It does have a top vent? Okay. Oh, those are the front fans. Okay, that's not the exhaust. Got it. Never mind. That's an interesting way to get air in. I kind of like the look of that case, though. Pretty cool. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of tempted to get this. I can't, but I can't do it right now. The taxes, they are coming, but I will absolutely keep an eye on this side. Maybe I'll have to dig a little bit deeper into other manufacturers' refurb options. I've received 100 messages with Restream chat. Yay, I'm so special. Big time streamer. Hell yeah. Oh god. Let's see. Summon a Wraith to summon a Flame Wraith instead? Okay. Applied mark for death on hit. That sounds pretty good. Maybe I'll hang on to that. Impulse buy live on stream. Yeah, $1,000 impulse buy. Yeah, that's definitely not worth my cash until I actually get my, you know, personal life under wraps where I'll be able to use it and do something with it. Pull trigger because it's such a good deal. I mean, it is a really good deal. So is this the same case? That's not the same case though, right? Maybe it's just showcased differently. What's in this one? So 32 gigs of RAM. It's a different generation, not good. Oh yeah, this is like the same fucking thing basically with more RAM. For $500 more. Yeah, I maybe that's a NVMe instead of just like regular solid state drive. I don't know. Not entirely sure what would make this cost $400 more than this one. The 850 and the 1100 are the best. Yeah, it certainly seems that way. Well, I am both very glad and very frustrated that I know about that now. Hey, armor seller. A fleshy human. Just buy my shit, man. Don't fucking harass me. Melee damage and spell damage. Wait a second. Wait a second. What was on this? Oh, it's 50% melee damage. I don't know that that does me any good. But it is better than what I'm using. Alright, see if I can craft that up a little bit. 4070 Ti for 1800? Really? Damn. Where would that be? This one? I got it. Yep. That's probably not awful. Yeah, that's out of my league though. That's more than I'd be willing to spend. Yeah, it would definitely cost you 2,500. Yeah, they suggested a 23. But see, once you're kind of getting to like new, this would definitely be one that I would replace a bunch of shit in. Like if I'm gonna buy a premium part like that, then I'm gonna power it correctly. I'm gonna have a nice motherboard. I'm gonna cool it correctly. Like you kind of have to build around that in a lot of ways, in my opinion. Seen a PC from Costco? Oh, hey, Costco, that's a good idea. So that's a pretty good deal. 4060 Ti. Let's see what else they got on there. Specs just aren't as good. Yeah, probably not. There's the specs. There we go. So probably just a straight up regular old SSD. Shot confidently. I'll have you know I'm an executive member at Costco. So 1400. Is that, does it come with the, oh it does, it comes with the liquid cooling. Interesting. You'd feel like such an adult if you had a Costco membership. It was definitely like, that's like on your adult qualification punch card, for sure. Either Costco or Sam's membership. Gotta have one of those things. Gold power supply, liquid cooling. I mean, that's a all-in-one cooler, so. I mean, that's a pretty good deal too, really. For 1,300 bucks. It's not bad. 1,400 bucks. Paying out of pocket, wasn't gonna ask to use your dad's, why not? See, for me, oh, it does tell you that it's an NVMe. Cool, got it. Yeah, the problem, what I was gonna say is the problem for me is that they don't tell you kind of like the nitty gritty specs, and that's the stuff that I really like to know. Because it can make a big difference. I mean, chances are pretty good that I would just leave this alone for what I'm using it for, but it's you know, I like the fans. Like I would, if it were mine, like if it were my main PC, I'd be replacing fans and all sorts of crazy shit on there. He didn't approve of the purchase in the first place. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Dad. Let's see, cast speed? I probably need cast speed right now. Oh, that's the only cast speed thing I had. Oh, shit. Okay. I'm gonna shatter this. Okay. Well, that's a substantial improvement to weapon. Let's see if I can go kill some shit. How about that? Dumbass, completely unnecessary purchase. Yeah, I mean, did you finance it? Like, I probably would have financed it if your, you know, money's an issue. I mean, I'd finance it anyway, honestly. Because a lot of times you can, like, sign up for a credit card and get interest-free for X amount of months. Just paid straight cash. Yeah, I forget that financing is an option most of the time now. Like, even for kind of, like, medium-sized purchases like that.
It eludes me.
Like, there's tons of companies that realize that Americans love debt. and will gladly purchase things that they can't really afford if allowed to do so over time. Honestly, more irresponsible to finance it? Well, yeah, I mean, if you couldn't get 0% financing on it, then yes. But yeah, like, I sort of foolishly bought a piano a few years ago, and I was like, I really don't want to pay for this out of pocket, and didn't. Like, they had 18 months interest-free financing, and I was like, cool, let's do that, and just like set up an automatic payment that was like, I've forgotten exactly how much it was, but I basically made it so it would be paid off like 2 months, you know, before that interest-free period ended, and I was good. It's all good. And honestly, like for me, it makes more sense to do that because I'm investing so much of my like spare money. So you got to figure that all of the money that I can defer paying to somebody is time that I am making money off that money. So like the longer I can finance it with 0% financing, the better. Oh yeah, I mean you have to pay it off before the that grace period ends. You absolutely fucking have to.
Impossible.
Yeah, or else they massively ream you. Like I have an Amazon card, I have an Amazon credit card that I use for like all my purchases because it gives cash back of some amount, of varying amounts depending on what you buy. But the actual percentage rate, like the rate on it is like 26%. Or just something completely asinine. So the trick is to never let it get to that point where you pay interest on it. So I just have it set up to automatically pay my balance, but in full every month. Because that's just not gonna work. Oh damn it. Nope, go physics, go! That boy be twitching.
Impossible.
So there's this, Jesus, man. Physics is, really rocking out right now. Costco City card is better. 24-month extended warranty. Oh, really? Interesting. Never heard of that. Ah, damn it. That's what I get for reading chat. Apparently I'm squishy enough without doing that. Getting myself killed all the time. Let me go this way. I mean, Costco's return policy has always been, like, legendarily forgiving. Oh, well, that was a bad decision. Oh well. Oh, skill point. Skill point.
It eludes me.
Yeah, I never really considered buying a constructed PC either.
It eludes.
Because I just always, like, within the last 15 years, made my own. Abused it on some stuff. Bought your phone, the screen had burn-in, they replaced it. Well, I mean, they should have. That's not abuse. That's using the policy for what it should be used for. Abuse is watching a TV for 3 months and then returning it, and watching a TV for another 3 months and then returning it. Which I know plenty of people who used to do that. I think they made their policies a little more strict because so many people were just like getting free electronics basically and constantly upgrading them.
Impossible.
Oh, after using it for 3 years. Oh, okay. Never mind. Wait, what the f... Oh, I guess I already completed the task here, so I'm just like running around for nothing. I'm an idiot. Oh well.
You killed him? Good.
Yes,
If we
I
pull
did.
this off, maybe I can give us some
Killed
good
his
news for
ass.
once, eh?
Guess I should sell my stuff while I'm here. Shop. Melee damage, spell damage. Can go away. Ooh, that's a lot of melee and spell damage. Goodness. Goodness, goodness. Maybe I will roll with that. 140. Yep, that's a lot more. Okay, I'm gonna fracture that because I want it. I want the things in it. Shatta. Use your Pixel 2 XL for 4 years. And completely replaced it? Wow. That's kind of awesome. Alright, let's crank this in here and get rid of melee fire damage. Oh, that's so good. That was very cool. Nice. Nice. Sure, increase spell damage. What do I want over here? Slow on hit? Yeah. Do it. Cool. That's a very nice improvement over what I had. Holy shit. I increased my damage by like 60%. Okay. Cool. Oh, DM'd me the monitor? Sweet. Also from the refurb store I see. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm playing with an Acer monitor right now. I've been very happy with it. Like, I always kind of thought Acer was sort of on the cheaper, and by cheap I mean like worse end of monitor construction, but this one, like the one that I'm using, got really good reviews. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. And I actually got this one cheap because it had like, I don't even know where it is. I think it has like a dead pixel somewhere. Oh yeah, it's over here. It's like maybe 2 pixels on the whole monitor. And I complained to them and they didn't, like, Acer didn't have a replacement. And so they just like gave me a partial refund basically. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, cool. 130 shipped. Damn. You nailed that, dude. No, that's a pretty nice PC setup for under $1,000. It's kind of cool that they come with the operating system loaded too. It's like if you build it your own, that's just $150 you piss away. Like, in principle, that's one of my least favorite parts about PC construction, is the paying for the operating system every time. I'm a man for deals? Well, you've shown me your ways, sir. I have much to learn, it seems. But better now than after I buy stuff. Oh. Wow, there's lots of dudes down here for me to kill off. There we go. Cool. Oh, it looks like that command broke again. Bummer. Every now and then, for some reason, Stream Elements, like, screws up that command and, like, smashes all of the links together so they don't work. Stupid. Save close to 10,000 in disgusting savings? That's not bad. Not bad at all, man. Yeah, I feel like I should probably be a little more conscientious about that. when I'm buying stuff.
Impossible.
And especially these days, I kind of just like get what I want without thinking about it too much. Like I might wait for like Black Friday or, you know, when I know it's gonna be on sale or has a good chance of being on sale or something. But other than that, I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna buy it. Which is probably not the attitude to take. Like for PCs in particular, I'll plug it into like PC Part Picker and, you know, like maybe track the price or something and, you know, wait for a sale or whatever. But other than that, I haven't like bought refurb stuff or anything like that. That's a really good tip. Oh, you motherfuckers. Samsung Z Fold 4. So speaking of things I don't trust, the folding LCD screen thing to me seems like a recipe for disaster. That does not sound like something that would last very long. And I know a few people that have them, and they've been very happy with them. 2 years and it's totally fine. You abuse it and drop it. Well, I guess you're torture testing it, so we don't have to. Thanks for doing science. Thank you for your science. Greatly appreciate it. The motherfucker was gonna come and blow up on me. He just like bull rushed me to go and self-destruct. What a dick. Yeah, I am very hard on my phone, so I keep it, like, I'm very particular about the type of case that I get. Like, I refuse to use anything other than a case that has a hard shell with a, like, rubber insert inside of it. So there's, like, a hard shell on the outside and then, like, you know, a shock absorbing layer between the phone and the hard case. Because I keep my phone, our scrubs have, they're, you know, scrubs are reversible, and so they have a pocket on the inside, like interior right breast pocket, basically. And so sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I will think I put my phone in my pocket, but really I just sort of like set it against my chest, and then I'll just like let go, and it just drops on the ground. Or, alternatively, I'll like lean over and it'll like fall out of my pocket on the floor. So good for hospital when you have to read shit. Yeah, I mean, if they let you turn it in, you basically got it for free. That's pretty cool.
It eludes me.
It eludes me.
Death will not take me. It eludes me.
Immortal Summit. Alright, I want more intelligence vitality. Oh, and I also want Profane Veil. Oh, but I don't have that till level 50. Can't do it till level 50. Boo. Okay. 20%. That is a substantial area. Why don't we do that? Amazon has an outlet store. I did know that, actually. I have a couple friends who, in the past, have bought Amazon, like, return pallets. And, you know, gone through them and got some pretty awesome stuff. Do I want to use that? Oh, on their website? Oh, I didn't know that, actually. Did not know that. Alright, well, let's crank damage, I guess. Crank the damage.
It eludes me.
The concept of an Amazon outlet store is sort of baffling to me. Because they sell everything. How do you have an outlet store for everything? Pallets, you have to have a commercial license and it's auctioned? Oh, interesting. Yeah, they were auctioned. I remember that. I don't feel like my friends have a commercial license, but maybe they do. And I just don't know. That doesn't seem like something that they would bother getting involved in, but... Yes, they were sold. It was a liquidation thing. I don't know. Maybe they're more serious about their dumpster diving than I thought. They've gotten all the appropriate licensure and stuff. And that wouldn't really surprise me, I guess. It's overstock? Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine Amazon particularly enjoys sitting on inventory. That would probably get very pricey quickly. What the fuck? I have to, like, kill all these bastards before I get in there or something? Ow. Ow. Stop it. I guess so. I guess that's the answer.
It eludes me.
Hey. Stop it. Skeleton archer fucks.
Impossible.
If you're storing merchandise in the Amazon warehouse, if they start charging you rent, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it costs money to have all that stuff sitting around. And obviously, unsold product is, you know, not making you any money. That's one thing that I always found really interesting. Like, have you guys ever watched, God, what is it called? It's a show where they, like, buy storage lockers, right? But it's like a bunch of, like, horse trading, you know, like, thrift store people who buy storage, like, abandoned storage lockers. And they'll always go through and they're like, well, this is worth this much, and it's worth this much. It's like, bro, it's not worth that much if it sits on your shelf for 10 years. It's like, you haven't made that money yet.
You should have seen this come. You know, yes.
We trusted you, Yulia. Bitch. Yep. Ow. Admiral Hard On. They probably could have chosen a better name. It's one of those things that, like, I feel like there are a few things in this game that just sort of stuck around from, like, you know, when maybe the developers weren't taking it super seriously. And then it suddenly turns into a game that's, you know, generated $35 million of revenue and counting. And they're like, oh wait, maybe we shouldn't have a character called Hard On.
Now's our chance. Quick, use hero.
Whose side are you on? Oh, this is cool.
Pathetic human mistake. You think you can kill me? You think you can?
chance of Herod. Where is it? Quickly! You need to get out of here!
Whoops. Amazon can be scummy, but might as well benefit. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you get to be a $1 trillion company without stepping on some necks, right? That doesn't happen by accident.
Your death has finally back in my own era. Looks like more fools will have to die yet if I'm to get off this mountain.
Making YouTube, you should. That's a totally, like, that gets watched all the time. People love bargain hunting. That's a very high yield thing to YouTube about. Damn it. Alright, I think I probably need to go to sleep. Nope, I've died. Alright. Well, thank you guys for joining me. It's good to see y'all. I promise I will try to be doing this more regularly, but man, the sleep has been rough. Well, have a great rest of your week. I will try to see you Sunday. I think that's fairly likely, but in any event, if I don't, take it easy, and I will be back soon, I promise. Join Discord. Don't forget to join Discord. I'm there frequently. Nighty night. Take it easy, everybody.